Uh, Mr. Grant Shepherd, thank you very much for coming in our webinar, and we have a very good chance to ask a lot of questions. I received a lot of questions from my students and my other colleagues. So especially regarding on the cages. So let us know that especially in cages house, uh, what you recommend, what is the best size of the house you recommend? Let us know, please.
The size of the house in relation to the stocking density, Imran?
Definitely, definitely. What is the best stocking density? What is the best design of the house? How many tiers? How many rows is the best? Uh, or catwalk is the best? And what you recommend? What is the economical house for designing of the economical house? And for the special for the I am focused on the ventilation. For the best ventilation, you please let us know that what is the best design of that house for the optimum and the best ventilation.
Imran, I'm going to say that there is, when looking at ventilation on a house, let's just say we've got a 45,000 layer house. Now, I'm not saying recommending that a 45,000 is optimal. You can have a 20,000 layer house as optimal. You can have a 10,000 layer house as optimal. And you can have 122,000 layers, which I've worked with as optimal. But as you correctly asked, they are all different. And where are they different? If you have within cages, the best solution that I can offer is a tunnel ventilation for virtually all of them. Okay, but now you might have a 45,000 layer house of 90 meters in length, 4 tiers high. Now, what are the problems related to that? Are we still there?
Yes, yes, please. You please carry on.
What are the problems related just to that? Maybe is that the house, although it's correct length and the width might be correct and the cages are all right, but the height of the house is important as well to realize. If your house, the height of it is too high, you might end up with the air being taken over the top of the birds, of the cages, and instead of through the cages. This is one of the problems that has been seen with high roofed houses. Although going too low can also cause a problem in that if you have an emergency problem and your power goes out, you could lose a lot of birds because there's not enough air at the top. How did we overcome that? We overcome that we can build the higher ceilinged roof. What we did is we put curtains into the gables, 6 to 10 meters apart. And effectively the air hits the curtains and gets pushed down into the birds, effectively giving the birds all the air that they require and at the correct speeds.
Right,
If
right.
you're looking at a house of 90,000 or 100,000 or 122,000, this becomes a slightly different. Now your house becomes a lot longer. And if you're going over 100 meters, let's say 120 meters, one can still do tunnel ventilation. But once the minute that you go into a bigger house where you got double tier for the cages, and when I say double tier, you've got four tier high, and then another 4 tiers, which makes it 8 high. You
Yes,
then got,
with catwalk, yes.
yes, the catwalk, that's correct. you then can end up with the longitudinal, the tunnel ventilation, as a problem because it's too long. The air comes in on the one end of the house, cooling it down, but by the time it gets down to the bottom end where the fans are, the air is already warmed. How do you overcome that? There is one only way to overcome that, and that's a combi, what they call a combi tunnel ventilation,
Yes.
whereby the instead of the fans being at the one end of the house, they're now situated in the middle, on the middle of the house, on the walls, on either side of the walls. So now you're shortening the airflow from one end and the other end. So you put your cooling pads now on either end of the house. And this brings the cool air through and out. In order to aid that, um, chimney ventilation is important as well, and is used to keep the airflow, especially at night when your temperatures start dropping. You require minimal ventilation. We use chimney
Yes.
ventilation, and this helped to keep us to keep the birds at the optimal temperatures.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for this brief answer. And yes, you are absolutely right that the length of the house should be smart for the tunnel. Yes, for the tunnel, and also width of the house should be small, and not more than 16 meter. I think because I got the best results in 100 meters, uh, 90 meter by 16-meter houses,
Mhm.
5 tier, 5 rows houses. And we got a best result. And also it's very easy to maintain optimum temperatures and humidity levels and ventilations. And also for the best production, we got 90 plus production of that houses that. And in my experience, in my working, I installed more than 50, yes, this cages houses, yes. And comparative to 120-meter length houses and 100,000 frog houses, this is for 75,000 house I am telling about. And comparative to 100,000 houses, it's very easy to manage the ventilation and all. So great. Thank you very much for this brief answer. Sir, thank you very much, Mr. Grant Shepherd.